Three news stories for you viewers. Firstly, which presidents and prime ministers are attending new Ethiopian government's inauguration ceremony being held in Ethiopia in Addis Ababa these minutes. Yesterday we had discussed that this participation would be a measure of the acceptance of Ethiopian government's actions regarding Tigray. So who is attending? International guests are still arriving, but now we have some updates about presidents and prime ministers who have arrived in Addis Ababa. Secondly, viewers, 72 hours ago, Ethiopia told 7 top UN officials to leave Ethiopia. They were accused of backing TPLF. 72 hours have passed. Have these UN officials left Ethiopia? Or they are still in Ethiopia? Because UN had rejected this expulsion order of their officials. UN had said that Ethiopia did not have any legal powers, legal authority to expel UN officials. We have an update for you. Lastly, a new story from BG Benishangul Gumuz, where reportedly more than 100 civilians have been abducted by a group called GPDM, Gumuz People's Democratic Movement. We'll talk about that in detail. Firstly, viewers, PM Abiy and new Ethiopian government's inauguration ceremony is being held in Addis Ababa. Which leaders, world leaders, have arrived in Addis Ababa so far? World leaders are still arriving, but now we know that several have reached Addis Ababa. Firstly, Ethiopian neighbors, viewers. Ethiopia shares border with 6 African countries. Djibouti, Somalia, South Sudan, Kenya, and Eritrea. Who is representing these 6 countries? Djibouti's President Ismail Omar has arrived in Addis Ababa. President of Somalia, Farmajo, is also in Addis Ababa. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta is also in Addis Ababa. Salva Kiir, great mediator, has also landed in Addis Ababa. So out of 6 countries, Ethiopian neighbors, 4 have their presence, high-level presence in Addis Ababa these minutes. Isaias has not been seen so far. He does not believe in elections, we know that. So if he's not there in Addis Ababa, not surprising. No high-level representation from Sudan so far. Hamdok is not in Addis Ababa so far, viewers. Very understandable, because we have seen tensions between Ethiopian and Sudanese governments. And there is political unrest in Sudan as well. They are facing their problems too. So almost all neighboring countries, they are standing behind PM Abiy. What about other African countries who are not Ethiopian neighbors? Yesterday, the President of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, arrived in Addis Ababa. President of Senegal, Macky Sall, also arrived to attend this ceremony. Today, Ugandan President Museveni arrived in Addis Ababa, and Prime Minister of Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is also participating in this ceremony. So you see, there is participation of several Ethiopian neighbors and other African countries as well: Somalia, Djibouti, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Senegal, Nigeria, Kenya. Algeria has sent its foreign minister. PM Abiy has the backing of Ethiopian neighbors and some African countries too. Of course, all 50 plus African countries wouldn't be represented here by their PMs and presidents. A surprising participation for me is of Obasanjo, viewers. Obasanjo is working as a mediator to resolve Tigray conflict. He is in this ceremony too. Tigray government is of course rejecting this election, this ceremony. Obasanjo is playing the role of a mediator. So now he is in the ceremony. Tigray leaders rejected his mediation. Now it seems he would be more controversial for Tigray leaders. No likelihood of Obasanjo's mediation succeeding, viewers. What about Middle Eastern countries, Europe, Asia, US? So far, we haven't seen any high level representation from the Middle East, the US, the West, and Asia, viewers. Though guests still arriving. We can sum up, viewers, by saying that Ethiopian neighbors are participating and several African countries are participating in this ceremony. Secondly, 72 hours ago, Ethiopian government expelled 7 top UN officials. Ethiopian government accused them of backing Tigray People Liberation Front, but Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, in a statement rejected this expulsion order. He had said that Ethiopia could not legally expel UN officials. 72 hours have passed. Have these UN officials left Ethiopia? Because there was a stalemate between Ethiopian government and UN. Well, some sources are telling that the 7 UN officials are leaving Ethiopia. They are departing Ethiopia. They have left Ethiopia. So it seems that the UN is withdrawing, viewers. It's not the first time that UN officials have been expelled. In the past, some other countries have expelled UN officials as well. But this time, UN was taking a stand at the highest level. UN was saying that legally Ethiopia was not in a position to expel UN officials. But it seems that UN is stepping back. Its officials are withdrawing, 7 officials. Lastly, Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, there an armed group, GPDM, Gumuz People's Democratic Movement, has reportedly abducted more than 140 civilians. Several international news outlets are confirming that fighting was underway in Saddle Woreda of Benishangul Gumuz. Fighting has been going on for the last 48 hours. Very heavy clashes were going on between security officials and GPDM. Thousands have been displaced in this fresh wave of fighting. Then GPDM abducted more than 100 civilians. Who are these civilians? Are they Gumuz, Amharas, or Oromos? We have seen ethnic clashes between Amharas and Gumuz in BG, viewers. Amhara militias, Amhara special forces have also entered BG. Amhara shares border with BG, viewers, and BG's regional government was accusing these armed groups of being backed by TPLF. Amhara militias entered BG, fighting was going on there. Now these more than 100 civilians have been abducted. BG shares border with Sudan as well, viewers, and earlier we saw statements from Ethiopian government accusing Sudan of backing infiltrators into BG from Sudan. Ethiopian dam GERD is also in this region. So this region is very important for Ethiopia. But I have been telling you in previous videos that BG is becoming destabilized. So there is deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Forces as well in BG. But this fresh wave of fighting indicates that security situation in BG is worsening, viewers. Thanks for watching.